Hello everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to create ingest workflows. Ingest workflows are the templates Media Producer uses to do an ingest. It contains all the information needed for an ingest. If there's any transcoding, which are the target video and audio formats, if it's a copy, whether it's going to preserve the source file structure or not, for example, and to which storage and metadata systems it's going to write to. We're going to start clicking on the Workflow tab. Only administrators have access to this tab. To create a new ingest workflow, click on the Add Ingest Workflow button. The first thing we want to do here is name the workflow we're creating, and it can be anything to identify our new workflow. Since it's going to become an ingest template for the user, sometimes clients like to name it according to the production it's going to be used for. For example, 6 p.m. news or morning news, or the name of the program. That's one of the advantages of Media Producer. Since every ingest is done with templates, the regular user doesn't have to worry about what format is coming in, to which format he's going to transcode the material to, which storage and metadata systems he's going to write to. The administrator creates it all in advance. In our case here, I will name it with the formats I'm going to use in our new workflow. I want to create a high-res, proxy, and copy workflow. In an ideal environment, I would send the high-res to my nearline, the proxy to my production storage, and a copy to my archive. Since I only have my ISIS here, I'm gonna send both resolutions to it, and the copy will go to a local drive. I'm gonna create the first output clicking on the Add Output button. First, I select the output system. I'm gonna select Avid, which is gonna write to my ISIS and to my Interplay systems. Next, I have the option to assign a previously created custom naming row to my output. These are copy options, which we're gonna go over in a bit. Then, I can choose the wrapper I want to use. I want it to be Avid MXF OP-Atom. Next, I gotta choose the video format I want to use, and I'll pick XDCAM HD 50 1080 I60. Then I can choose the audio format. I'll choose PCM. Next, I'll choose the audio bit depth. I'll pick 24-bit. I can also choose same as source for all these options if I want to. I can remap audio channels. For example, if you have a production that you know that the valid audio tracks are always in channels 3 and 4, you can remap them on Ingest. Next, you have the option to insert graphics overlay, and it can be a timecode burn-in, a text that you can create, or even an image. This is very useful when creating a workflow for exclusive materials in news, for example. You can have the company's logo burned into the image on Ingest, and you don't have to worry about the footage going on air without it. Moving on here, you can also discard data track. Some cameras provide additional metadata that can be transferred to sequences on the editing software. In some news environments, editors don't want an extra track of data on their timelines, so they prefer to discard it on Ingest. Next, you can also adjust color range to video levels and bring everything to legal broadcast levels. I'll hit save. And now I'm going to create the second output. And this will be our proxy resolution. I'm going to select my Avid as the output again, like I said before. I'll use Avid MXF OP-Atom again, but this time I'll pick H.264 2 megabits proxy 1080i 2997 as video format. Audio format, I'll pick MPEG-1 Layer 2. Audio bit depth, 16-bit. Don't want any of these options, and I'll save it. Now I'll create the third output, the copy. I'll select copy as the output system. This time I want to make a copy, and also want to keep source file structure. I also have the option to use checksum. I'll hit save. Now I can also assign a metadata profile to my ingest workflow if I want to. If I select pre-flight option, every time this ingest workflow is used, Media Producer will copy all the material to a buffer drive first, and then start ingesting. This buffer drive has to be previously created by the administrator. Then we can set group permissions. Who's gonna have access to this ingest workflow I'm creating? I'll select all of them. Next, I can set the task priority for this workflow. The default is set to normal. This is a good feature if you want to create an urgent ingest workflow, for example. You can create two exact workflows, one with the task priority set to normal, the second one set to highest. This way, if you have some material that needs to be ingested immediately, you can use the urgent workflow. Those tasks are going to have priority in the ingest queue. I'm gonna set this one to normal. I can also schedule the ingest for this particular workflow. I'll hit save. And here is our new ingest workflow ready to be used. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.